So medium-sized brush is fine. Doesn't need to be a detailed brush. Obviously also don't need to be too careful with the brown, because anything that I go over is easy enough to touch up with the brown paint. The brown on white is not an issue. It's when you start going the other way, when you put brown on teeth or tongue or something that you don't want to have it, that's when the touch-ups become quite painful. Happy to just do reasonably thick coat. Once again, doesn't need to be anything too fancy. I mean, you know, it's going to end up basically being a toy, so we need it to be reasonably robust. You know, as to whether their parents just throw it on a shelf somewhere or what happens with it once it's out of my sight. Well, I won't know, will I? Because it'll be in Japan with the relatives, and I am not going. So I won't be there, which is fine, but nice to be able to give something for my partner to take with her and hand on to the nieces and nephews. I think with this particular design, with the first time I made this model, like, it was much smaller than this, basically just for myself, not as a gift or anything like that. I think I just did all this background flesh part in the same brown. I don't think I bothered to distinguish it, but obviously on this kind of scale you can see there is a difference. So I'll have to put my thinking cap on and decide what colour I want it to be around the tongue and the teeth. So the tongue and the teeth are a given. It'll be white teeth, and this really cool colour, what's it called? I think it's like hot bubble gum or something along those lines. It's an AK one. I'll find it later. But yeah, awesome tongue, just looks fantastic on the small scale, so it's going to look even better on a big scale. Quite looking forward to that. If any of you have seen my videos where I painted the mimic cups, so like more like an actual mug, there was one of those also which had a big pink tongue coming out the same colour pink that I'll do these in. So the white will need 2 coats. Okay, might get a little bit more detailed brush for the eyes though. Try and go for like a bloodshot eyes. It's not a human, it's a monster, so you don't want it to just look like, you know, white background with the blue or black dot in the middle like you would with a human. want it to look a little bit more aggressive than that and a little bit more monstery, if that's a word. Okay, so that's the start. Definitely going to need 2 coats of the white. Oh, I got the detail brush, I might as well do the eyes. On the chest. So, apart from the tongue, this one's probably all going to need a detail brush, because this has much more teeth and they're much closer together, so I can't just kind of blanket white out the whole area like I could with the water barrel. I have to pick each individual tooth. So for those of you into the actual 3D printing technology and 3D printing news, no doubt some of you will have seen all the details come out about Bambu's latest printer, which obviously as the owner of a Bambu 3D printer, I'm always interested in that sort of stuff and what they're doing, and their new machine looks amazing and it's pretty versatile with its laser engraving options as well, and its dual heads, and you know, all these great fantastic things. And it is a premium, you know, their flagship model, so fair enough. And then you look at the price. Yeah, I won't be getting one of those anytime soon. I mean, love 3D printing, but my little A1 works perfectly well for my needs, and yeah, I couldn't justify the expense in Australia that it costs to get the H2D. As I say though, very impressive bit of kit. I mean, 3D printing technology in general has just come along so far. I mean, Bambu, of course, is well known for their set and forget style 3D printing, where you just send your file to the printer and expect it to print out. And for the most part it does, although sometimes I do still have adhesion issues. So like your actual print sticking to the print bed. So for that I find just create a couple of layers of raft is all you need. Basically, if it's not going to stick down by itself, a raft is the option in Bambu Studio, which I use to get past that problem. Yes, I do use Bambu Studio. I don't use one of the third-party ones. I know that there has been a lot of controversy with some of the security updates that Bambu has released, but for me, all I care about, you know, the main thing that I was concerned about when the whole blew up on the internet, the news about the Bambu updates, was whether they were going to force you to use Bambu filament. Because, you know, it's not outrageously expensive, it's just more expensive. I just buy Sunlu is the name of this company that I buy my PLA from, but yeah, they're just a you know, a budget priced PLA. And for what I do, that's all I need. I mean, I don't print with high temperature items and, you know, have specific funky requirements, just a basic PLA. Okay, so we're gonna continue working on the water barrel mimic today. I'm going to use some scarlet red game color as the kind of background monster color, so not quite as dark as the wood barrel, but obviously it'll make the white teeth and the tongue pop. The tongue color, by the way, I grabbed it out. It's called Intense Pink by AK. It's one of my favorite colors. It is awesome. It just looks so good. But let's hope we don't have any bottle failures like we did with the gold, where it just came out absolutely everywhere. Okay. Using a medium brush here. Don't worry too much if the teeth get a little bit of red on it. It's not the end of the world, but obviously just try and set it up so there's as little rework needed as possible. I did mean to grab the previous versions of these models, like the ones that I originally painted, and have a bit of a look at them for an idea for the color palette, and also show off to you guys what I had done. But yeah, I forgot. So I'll do that later. It's the sort of color that wouldn't typically need a white background, but I had done the white anyway, so it doesn't hurt. Like the teeth absolutely need to have several coats of white, and even the pink tongue, I definitely want to have white behind that, so that when I put the pink on, the pink really pops, which is what you want it to do. But yeah, in this particular case, the red would have been fine without the white. It's reasonably runny, this paint. A lot of Vallejo stuff is a little bit thicker than this, but this one's a bit runny, a bit liquid. But that's fine. Be interested to see what the parents' reactions are to these toys. I don't actually exactly know the age of the twins, so it's twin boys that these are going to in Japan from my partner's family. But so it's like her younger brother's family, I think. Yes. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see what the parents think, if they're like, oh, cute toys, or like, ugh. So just a bit of a reminder as well, for any that haven't watched some of my older videos, there's basically a 4-color, like a light system from my thumbnails. I've kind of mixed it up just recently, and now I'm just putting the green dots on there instead of the other red dots, because I thought, well, maybe the 4 dots is confusing. It might just be easier to just put the green dots for what it actually is. So yeah, basically it's a quick visual guide to tell you at what stage a model is at, because some people, when they're watching my videos, they may not be interested in like support removal and priming a model, for example. They just want to see me actually painting with the color. So the first dot is the support removal and priming of a model. So therefore, if it's just got 1 dot, you know that it's at the very, very beginning stages of working on a model. And then it kind of goes up from there. The second dot is for like color blocking. The third is detail painting, although it is perfectly, you know, common in a session to do like color blocking of an area and detail painting of the same area in a different area. But anyway, basically the idea is to give you a guide as to how advanced the techniques being used on any particular video are. And then, you know, so detail painting is the third dot, and basically the fourth dot is finishing. So that can be washes, that can be dry brushing, it can be like, you know, studio photos in my photo booth as to the final painted product. So like, yeah, it's basically a progression system from 1 dot to 4 dots, and you know, each dot kind of represents the journey that that particular model has gone on. So yeah, just what I kind of came up when I was thinking about this channel and its very, very foundational sort of days as to how I would kind of indicate to people without, you know, them needing to read descriptions and stuff. And a very quick, you know, have a glance at it. Oh yeah, it's a new model. Oh yeah, no, that's a finishing off of an older model. That sort of thing. Of course, you know, as a YouTuber, we always hope you watch all our videos, but you know, I get that sometimes there just aren't enough hours in the day, and you got to kind of pick and choose. So that's why I did that. Oh, just enough paint. Literally just enough. I mean, it'll need a second coat anyway, but alrighty, that is the red of the monster's flesh in their mouth. So I was having a look at the original mimics that I painted. They're a much smaller scale, but this is the water barrel one, and I do really love how the teeth turned out with the white teeth and the kind of brown wash. But the one that I had forgotten a lot about, if I can get it to focus a bit for you. Hopefully you can see that. No, come on. Oh, there we go. So this is the original treasure chest that I did, the treasure chest mimic. And I painted the teeth gold. I'd forgotten that I'd done that. But, you know, I guess the idea is it's like gold in the treasure chest, and, you know, you're kind of leading into that. The eyes I'm going to do very differently this time. I actually also brought out this Mimic mug that I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite models, and I think it turned out really, really well. And this sort of like single slit with veins in dark red, if you can see that. That's kind of the look that I'm going for the eyes on these mimics. Obviously on a much smaller scale, because on these guys the eyes are, you know, much smaller than those mugs. But yeah, basically that's the way that I'm going. Yeah, so obviously several differences. With the water barrel mug, I had just done the sides and the back of the mouth in the same wood colour as the exterior of the wood barrel, whereas obviously with this one, you can see a lot more detail because it's a, you know, significantly larger model side by side. Yeah, I'm going more for like the red colour. It still needs a second coat to look better, but the red colour in that sort of like fleshy part on the inside I think will look really, really good. But even here, I'm probably not going to just replicate the more human style eyes. I want to go more for the monster style eyes. So anyway, moving on from that, I've decided that for the inside of the mimic chest, I'm going to go for this moon yellow colour. I thought about going like the full gold, backwards and forwards, but no, I think a yellow will actually work better